I mentioned in that food video about the art and the color and everything of the city. There's a really cool story, or story time we'll call it, about how that sort of all came to be and why some of these buildings have been repainted and are so colorful. And there's probably a really good example right there actually. I feel like I've been hinting all day and talking about like the art and this positivity through color and everything, and we've only now finally got to a point where I can talk about the most famous one. So that is known as just the Rainbow Building, although there is rainbow over here as well, and lots of color just on this intersection as a whole. But it's a really positive and really cool sort of story that there was a guy who was essentially an artist that got elected as mayor, and what he wanted to do was bring some vibrance and some color and some joy, which is what he knows art to be, back into the city. So when he became mayor, he started doing things like this, painting all of the ex-communist block buildings with this nice pastels and colored, you know, something a little bit brighter than what looks pretty rough on the outside. We're in the Blloku area now. This is the neighborhood that we picked to stay in, and we feel like we did a really good job in where we've picked. As soon as you start walking back in, you start to see more shops and more glamour, and it fits our scene a little bit, but the fact that we've still got access to all of this other stuff has made our time here very fun. We got so many messages about Tirana that it's kind of crazy. Everybody looking for more advice on things to do and where to eat, how to get around, and just our tips in general after spending a few weeks here. So we've shared all of our thoughts and advice in one big blog post. If that sounds like a bit of you, we'll leave a link in the description below so you can check it out.
Walking down the street and Dane just instantly started giggling because he saw something that brought back childhood memories.
Childhood memories for sure. Duff.
Yeah. From The Simpsons.
I don't know how this is legal in terms of copyright, but apparently Albania doesn't care.
It's from Belgium. How do we not know about this? It sounds good. Honestly, I don't really know what Homer sees in Duff. It's a little bit too sweet for me. It tasted really sweet.
I don't imagine that Homer was drinking what is that, malty and sweet were part of the notes that were on the thing. I don't think he was drinking that.
Well, we found the I Love Tirana sign, but we haven't found the way that you actually get inside the park. There's like these gates and barriers around the whole thing, and then in the middle there's just concrete piles of rubble. Maybe they're working on it.
Maybe they're making some improvements.
Yeah.
But there's the sign though. This is a very random next stop. What is this doing in the middle of the city like this?
How do we get in?
Yeah. Do you think that's the way in?
Well, I know that you can't go like in the pyramid, but I think you can get inside the chain link fence from what I read, but it looks very much like you can't, so
we'll have to explain shortly.
Yeah, what it is. Yeah. The gate just ends here.
Huh.
The fence, sorry. Do we just go in? There's a whole bunch of like security guards to my left. I wonder if where do we just go?
They look unrelated to this. Let's just walk around a little bit and see.
Okay.
Surely one of the rules of security is make sure that the whole area is secure. So this is what Stacey's mentioning. There's sort of the entrance there. Sorry, I realise we haven't explained this at all yet, but just be curious with us. Sort of the entrance is there, and then it just ends. Outside? Inside?
Do you vote that we go in?
I vote that I don't know what these guys behind us are doing. I mean, you hold a camera up like this and people look at you anyway.
I mean, I read online that you can still go in, so I think we go in.
Well, you can't, in this bit you mean, or like in,
no,
you can't go inside,
can't go
you're
in,
like,
but
oh, no.
But I mean, it's so weird because the fence makes it seem like you can't go in, but then they're like, come on in. Let's go.
Survey, let's keep going.
I'm going.
Oh, okay,
Bye.
okay.
Just waiting for like some weird alarm to go off. Like, murmur. You are now arrested. I feel like it's probably completely fine to be on the outside of this place, but because we've just been to the bunker and we've been learning about like paranoia and bugs and, you know, being like having surveillance and stuff, I sort of feel like our mood is heightened a little bit.
Maybe it is, yeah.
Well, we've been walking around for the last 5 minutes or so and nobody's come and said that we're doing anything wrong. I wonder if it's just like a barrier from the front that they're just trying to keep it away from the people. Meanwhile, we can walk right up here. Whether or not we should be is a completely different story, but... Oh, wow. Man, there's something creepy about things like this.
What's going on? That timing, though.
Well, we thought we were being all badass there by walking in and around behind the fence, and then literally some dude just ran to the top of it, and then there were children playing everywhere, so...
There was no one around when we first got here. This pyramid was originally built in the 80s. It was supposed to be a museum to kind of honor the dictator Enver Hoxha, and he passed away, and then eventually it got repurposed as like a conference center and a few other different things. It was also the most expensive structure
that's right.
of, like when it was first built, and now it seems like the city doesn't really know what to do with it. It's just vandalized and abandoned, and it's huge. Like it takes up a huge portion of the city.
It really does, in terms of the whole grounds as well,
They
yeah.
just need to figure out what to do with it.
I mean,
but for now,
I
it's
like
just for tourists to come and just kind of check it out.
It's for weirdos like us who think that we're being really bad, and we just sort of walk
Bad.
around and it's bad, and it's just completely normal.
Just normal.
So it's just one of those things that really adds to the colour of this city. It's like that contrast again. I mean, in front of us we've got these big fancy buildings.
Yeah, real
There's
modern.
this massive modern looking apartment structure or maybe commercial building going on there, and then you've just got Olme back here.
Yeah.
Was the most expensive building, just chilling out with zero purpose whatsoever. Very random. We've found ourselves in a park that perfectly summarizes this whole strange, random, like mixture of what you can find here.
Tirana is so difficult to explain, but I feel like what you just said, this just sums it up. There's a piece of, literally just a piece of the Berlin Wall just randomly in front of us.
It was a gift from Berlin to Tirana.
And then also one of the, how many? One of the hundreds of thousands
Yeah.
of bunkers that can be found all over the country.
But-
like, they're just sitting next to each other like it's normal.
There's a bus going
On
past
like a
and
main road.
yeah, there's a nuclear bunker there, but at face value it just looks like a park, and it's actually not just one in here, by the way. You see that one over there?
Is there another one?
There's a second one over in the distance over there as well. Whoa, it's very low. Yeah, oh, looks like it's been concreted over so that you can't really get down there, but otherwise... Oh gosh, I'm having to really crouch. Wow, what is this? Is this for some... Oh wow, that moves as well. Looks like that was for some sort of weapon, maybe? Very weird. I can tell you, it does not smell good in here, so we are currently... We are leaving. It does not smell good in there.
Okay, I'm not going in there.
Well, that was almost 6.5 hours of exploring today. That was absolutely huge.
I'm so tired.
Whew. I feel like these videos have been, because I feel like we've split this in two by now because it has been so long, but I feel like they've been real walking, chatting, history, talk, like loads of chat. So thank you for making it this far, but I'd be very curious to know if this, like, ride-along almost. I feel like this was like ride-along vlogs instead of some of our different styled ones, but curious to know what you think.
There's just so much to do in Tirana in general, and especially in the Blloku area.
And there is so much more to come from Albania as well. I feel like the road trip we're about to do, hiring a car and exploring, is going to be absolute legitness.
There's going to be a lot of like learning along the way as well, because like we mentioned, it is very difficult to find information about Albania as a whole, so we're kind of just rolling the dice and going to see what happens.
What did I say when we were on the cruise ship? I said, go raw, explore.